G'day ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to look around at some learner bikes and we're going to talk about a few of them that we see. So obviously I've set my things up to my area, Victoria. We've got Cruiser Naked Sports Bike. Yes, I know there's other kinds of bikes like your adventure bikes and whatnot, but this is sort of what the main category of bikes are that people buy when you're getting into these things. And we're just going to have a scroll through and see what's available. Now, I know if you're from another country, learner approved is a thing that we do in Australia. So basically, we're limited to sub 660 cc's. There's a certain power to weight ratio law that has to be a part of that as well. So like your 650 CBR is restricted to hell, and your 600cc class sports bikes are also not allowed. So with that information, let's have a look at what's available. And off the bat, I see a bike that's becoming a little bit more popular and I've actually had the chance to ride. This is the CLC Bobber by CF Moto. If you have a look at this thing, it's a nice, nifty looking cruiser, and the exhaust for stock actually doesn't sound too bad. I've had a little short stint on it. It's a pretty comfortable bike. It's got the 450 from the 450 SR, so it's got that nice cross-plane exhaust. Good looks. The white wall tires suit it well. I can't talk about reliability or anything, but the 450 SRs, whatever their reliability is, it's basically going to transfer over to this one. So I can see this being a very popular first bike. Here we have a look at the dash, fuel gauge, speedo, and I think it's got a tacho somewhere in there hidden, I just don't remember. But dude, it's a comfortable little bike. It's got a little bit of power. It's not too fast or anything, but for $8,000, you can get a decent little bobber style motorcycle, okay? So that's one of them here. Royal Enfield, I'm not too versed in Royal Enfield, so I can't talk about them at all, but you know, there's plenty of Royal Enfields in the beginner class category. But what are you looking for when you get these bikes? A lot of people will probably go and look at the low to high section. Be wary of this. The lower bottom of the barrel bikes, I'd say be careful of, because a lot of these lower price ones can be quite problematic. So what I typically do for my bikes, I'll go to my odometer and probably go maximum is 20,000, and my price range would start probably from anywhere from maybe 3.5, 4 grand. So I'll do 4 grand as the lowest. BMW G310R, here's a good starting one. This little motorbike, I think it's considered a naked bike, but they call it like a touring, like a naked tourer. Look, she's got a little engine. Let's not kid ourselves. But my mate has one of these bikes and he swears by it. So it's got a little single cylinder, decent suspension. It's a comfortable little bike. It's not going to go very fast, but it will do absolutely everything you need it to do. BMW being a brand that a lot of people like. But you go, it's a 6-speed, 310cc cylinder bike. Cylinder bike? You know what I mean. But this is something, if you're looking to get into at the cheaper end of the spectrum, look, the G310R is actually not too bad. I don't mind the looks of them. Exhaust is what an exhaust would be on a single cylinder bike, right? There's nothing special, nothing flashy, but they're okay. CB250s, look, a bit vintage now. Hyacinths, I'd probably avoid those ones entirely. The 390 Dukes, these are good bikes. A lot of people don't give them enough love. They do get a bit warm, especially the sports bike equivalent, but the way I find about these bikes is they have good amount of power. They rev out a little bit too quickly for my liking, but they're nice looking, they're light and flickable, and honestly, they'd be a great little bike to start with. Alright, let's see what else we got. GSX 125, yo, I didn't even know we had these. These are sick. That thing would have no guts. If you have to do any sort of riding that isn't around the city, avoid that thing. It'd be terrible in every other instance, but if you're just doing city riding, a 125 would be plenty. CBR 300, similar thing as like the Rebel 300, I would avoid them personally. They're not because they're bad bikes, they do just lack a little bit of guts. Now, you can still have a good amount of fun on it, and you know how I feel about small bikes. They look nice, they feel like toys. If that's your go and you just want an absolute meme bike to race around the canyons in your spare time, get one of these. They're fantastic. But in most cases, I avoid them. But it doesn't mean you won't have a good amount of fun on them. You saw my review on the GSX-R 250. $4,300 for an MT-03. Yo, what's going on here? This is fantastic. I'm actually going to save this link and send it to my girlfriend. She likes these bikes. This is a nice looking MT-03. You got your inverted forks, your exhaust's already done. Brother, you want a new bike? Just less than 4.5 grand, you got one. What's wrong with? I failed to see anything wrong with this. You got your little tail tidy installed, dude. It's got the same engine as the R3, plenty of power, plenty of oomph, oil filter change done, aftermarket exhaust, EGR. Mate, I'm not seeing any issues here, right? That is a phenomenal bike up in Narnagoon. Such an Aussie name. 2022 model, dude. We're looking at all these things, and you're seeing plenty. Suzuki Intruder, Virago 250s. Look, they're not fast, these bikes, but you can make them into these delicious bobbers, okay? So you can see the speedo, it doesn't go up much past for under 40. Small bikes, very fun to customize. They're not fast, they're light. When they run properly, they're great commuter bikes. Much like the Rebel, but it's just that V-twin for that V-twin note. Let's see what else is going on in this market. You got a Ninja 250, haven't seen many of those around. Virago 250, look at them, they look nice. Benelli, I don't know much about Benelli, so I'd probably avoid it, but here we are. The RC390, this is, I think, the older looking model. Look at that thing, man. 2020 model, so it's a bit more of the, I think it's past the updated part, but, no, this is one of the older looking ones. These bikes handle fine. I've ridden one multiple times. I enjoyed it. They're not too bad. The old ones might blow up if you hold them revving too long, and that happened a lot in races. But after a certain year, I forget what it is. I think 2020 might have had it. They updated the engine so it would stop blowing up. 44 horsepower, man. 43 newtons of torque. Beautiful, beautiful amount of go. Brakes are fine. It's not that uncomfortable for a sports bike. It's actually quite up. You see the handlebars are much more raised than the seat, much like the Ninjas, 650s and all that stuff. If you're looking for an entry-level sports bike, I do actually recommend going for that thing. That thing is great. Let's see what else there is. But you see what I mean? There's plenty of options. We're only at the $4,000 mark. 390 Dukes again, Royal Enfields, all that good stuff. Let's go more into the mid-range. Hyosung GV6. Nah, I wonder if this is the old one I rode, because it looks very similar to it. Oh my lord, it might be. No, not a chance. If you get the newer version of those bikes when they have the was it the EFI, they're a little bit better. Sol Invictus, that's a gorgeous looking bike there. I've never heard of it, so I can't talk about it, but that's a gorgeous looking thing. Ooh, I kind of like that. Gixxer 250, you've seen my review on this bike. It is slow, but it is so much fun. It's got a naked bike windshield, so there's absolutely no air bubble when you try and tuck down. But this is a fantastic little toy bike, and I mean that. 4 pictures, $5 grand. $5 grand's a bit steep, but it's also perfectly priced for this thing. It's not fast at all. Great fun though. And if you really want to know what this looks like, search it up on my channel. I do have a video of reviewing one of your guys' bikes. That is this. I loved it, okay? I loved every minute of it. More MT-03s, beautiful stuff. Gixxer 250, so there's more of that. The CFMoto 650N. I don't know, I see a lot of those secondhand, so I can't talk about them, so that's not a good sign. CB500, so that's the same engine I believe mine would have. So if you want a naked bike version of the Rebel, I know a lot of you guys like your Honda Rebels because you follow me, but this is just a naked version of the Rebel. So in other words, the Rebel's already very naked for a cruiser bike. This is just a more naked Rebel. Great. Good engine, good torque. What else do we got? Benelli. I've seen a few Benellis around, but I haven't ridden one, so I can't talk about it. Yo! The CB300 with the modern styling? That's kind of hot. Like I said, 300s don't do much for me, but this is a gorgeous looking bike. Look, they're bulletproof bikes. They're not going to blow up on you, but that thing would weigh nothing. That thing would ride beautifully. Honestly, it would lack a lot of guts on the main highways, but this is a phenomenal town bike. I would recommend if you live in a place that requires a lot of city riding and stuff, this should be on your radar. This is fantastic, and it looks nice. Husqvarnas, they're very popular, these 401 Vitpilens. I haven't ridden one, but I know they're popular and for a reason. Ninja 400s, dude, like the iconic level, entry-level sports bike, the Ninja 400, the R3, and now the Ninja 500. $5.5 grand, very, very lightweight. It's been scratched a few times, it's probably been low-sided once, but that's okay. As a first bike, you don't need to go out and buy something pretty. This is a lot of scratching. You can replace it, or you just leave it and just not care about it. Buying a bike that's pre-damaged and it still works, so if it's not structurally damaged, nothing's damaged, just cosmetic, don't worry about it. If it's your first bike, you don't have to buy the prettiest thing, especially if you're scared, because if you drop the bike, you're not going to feel as guilty, and that is a fantastic thing to not have to worry about. Z400, it's just the naked version of it, dude. Another one, I really didn't know we had so many of those. Now, for one of my favorite bikes of all time, an R15. Oh, what a weapon. They're slow, they're gorgeous, they're fun to ride. Not fast. Fun toy bike, though. That's all I have to say about that one. Let's see what else we got going here. Benelli 502s, your baby Diavels. I've seen a few of those around. They're okay. Ducati Monsters. If you want to spend Ducati money, spend Ducati money. But otherwise, what else have we got? Gixxer 250s. ER6N. These are very popular old naked bikes. Nearly $6 grand, but you know what? They're quite nice. I'm going to send this one to my brother because I know he likes these bikes. But look at that. Good condition. How much is this? This one's only got 12,000 kilometers. That's not bad at all. Plenty of Royal Enfield medias. I have a lot of people in my Discord who are a bit more well-versed in this. If you have any questions about this, I would suggest you join our Discord and ask some questions there because those people know a lot more than me. CF Motos, Gixxer 250s, man, plenty of bikes in the entry-level category. I haven't looked at this price point in a while, mainly because I'm not looking for more learner bikes when I get my full license. What was that last one again? Kawasaki Vulcan, $6 grand. 2016, I think this is the one you can de-restrict just by unplugging something in the ECU. Dude, phenomenal beginner cruiser bike. If you're not looking for the Rebel style, you want more of your real cruiser, this is where you go. And this one even got the passenger backrest, so when you finally get your full license, it's got floorboards on it. Dude, Stock exhaust can go. Quad lock if it comes with it. Heel toe shifter. No, I don't like those. But, you know, one of you guys might. I think they're, ugh. Yo, the Royal Enfields are gorgeous. I love that cafe style racer bike, man. So, like I said, I wish I knew more about them to tell you, but they're gorgeous bikes. Honda Monkey. Terrible, but also phenomenal. Honda VLX, dude, you can buy custom-made bikes as well. These exist. There's a whole mob that makes, like, V-Stars into bobbers for learner bikes. This thing would be wicked. Look at that. You want a custom bike? You don't need to get a big bike. Cruisers don't need to be high capacity to be fun, alright? Cruisers are basically made to cruise. Street 500, I would avoid them. The Chinese-made Harleys, I would avoid them. Now, the Street 500, you can do a lot of work to them. If you want to spend a lot of money and make them pretty, they can actually be quite sexy, but you got to spend a lot of money to get them there, and I'm not convinced. R15Ms, one of my favorite motorcycles of all time, just because they're funny. The updated KTM RC390s, these ones have definitely fixed the engine problems. Got a much sleeker, modern look. Still exactly the same in terms of own. That's got a flip plate on it. That will get you arrested immediately. If you get caught with a flip plate, you immediately get a license suspension. So be careful when you're buying a bike not to have one of those on it. And if you do have one, don't get mad when you get in trouble, alright? They're very illegal, but that's Grandpa Nathan telling you what you can and cannot do. CF Moto 450 SR, everybody knows a CF Moto. These bikes are incredibly popular. They're very cheap. CF Motos aren't expensive. You put a nice exhaust on this, they sound gorgeous, like an R7, just, you know, a little bit higher pitch because of the smaller engine, but they're very popular for a reason. Reliability-wise, I don't know much about them, but I know they're popular for a reason. There's the CLC, that's the standard version, that's not the bobber. They're popular too. Ducati Scrambler. Once again, if you want to spend Ducati money, you're more than welcome to. So this is more on the lower end. Let's do one flip to the high end of the monies and see what you can buy. You're probably not going to buy a Norton Dominator. Aprilias are more on that upper end. Now look, if you've got Aprilia money to buy your first bike with, the Aprilia RS660 is great from, all the 210 for that matter, are great for two reasons. One, they look nice, and two, they are phenomenal bikes. And the best part is, when you get your full license, you can just take it to the shop and get the ECU changed to the full power one, and there you go. You've got your 100 horsepower. These are well-made, very well-built bikes. There's not much bad I can say about them. They're great. CBR 650 E-Clutch. I'm not sold on the E-Clutch at all, but they do look good when they finally have their tail cover on the bike. The CBR 650 suffers from naked bike syndrome at the back, but if you get rid of that and you put it on, it's quite nice. Of course, we're going to get a lot of vintage bikes. R7s, they're on the upper echelon of learner bikes, okay? You can de-restrict them pretty comfortably, but they sound nice. Yamaha V-Stars as well. These are very popular for a reason. You can get bobbed out ones, much like this, as a learner bike, and just look at it. It's awesome. They're very large and in-charge bikes, but they are gorgeous bikes. So we're going to see a lot of R7s and Aprilias at this price range, but now I think we're going to go more to the R7s because of now the area we're in. R7s, XSR 700s, and the Daytona. Daytona, also phenomenal street bikes. I would rather a Trident over the Daytona, but either way, they're good. CBR 650s, I would buy them over a 500 any day of the week, but the 500 is fine if that's all you can afford. And the Street Triple 660, yes, we don't get them brand new anymore, but it's essentially just a smaller CC version of the Street Triple. In fact, they're going to be incredibly well made. SC Project's going to be outrageous on this thing, but these are going to be one of the best made bikes you can find on your learners if you can get one, because they're basically just a smaller CC Street Triple, and the Street Triples are phenomenal bikes. Okay? Underrated as hell by too many people. A lot of CBR 650s, of course there is, but then you go, we don't talk about the Harley Street 500s. Vulcan, again, everybody knows the Vulcans. We've talked about them plenty of times. V-Star Custom again. See, this is, here we go. This is a custom Street 500. Like I said, they're hideous until you put money into them. But look at them. When you put a bit of money into them, they can look okay. I'm just not going to put the money into them. That's the thing. But look at that. Someone's done their due diligence and made this thing very gorgeous. But they probably spent just as much on customizing the bike as they did buying the damn thing. So there we go. We had a little look at what's available. Street 500. There goes another one. When it's done up, and look at it, man. When it's got a better looking rear tail, when it's done up nice, it looks like a Sportster. But I just wish they came out this way. Why didn't they make them so hideous? But yeah, dude, there's quite a lot. ZR650 or Z650, beautiful motorcycle, beautiful. It's a shame the engine's dull. Oh, you know what? The bikes are getting much better for the first bike choices. These bikes are very popular for a reason. The CB650s are fantastic, and you de-restrict them. Beautiful bikes, beautiful bikes. I love them. But yes, I think we've had enough looking at bikes. The monsters, the new monsters look a bit more like MV Agustas, and that's the CBs again. But I think we've had enough looking for bikes. You sort of see what I mean? There's good options. There's bad options, but there's mostly great options. So you don't have to be too upset about what's available right now. So let me know what you guys are looking at getting, or what you're thinking about buying, or what you have bought, alright? I like to hear what you guys have done and see what the market's now trending towards. R7s are very popular for a reason, man. They might be uncomfortable. Look at it. It's so bad when it's stock. It's so hideous. And if you like it, I apologize, but no, they're ugly as hell until you put money into them. Ugh. But yeah, let me know down below, ladies and gents. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content. Take it easy, keep it cheesy. Have a wonderful day. Peace. Bye.